Hey guys, I just wanted to give you my thoughts on the 2-hour season two premiere of Agent Carter. I didn't have a chance to catch it last week because it was DC week, so I'm just gonna. But we had an encore tonight, and so I'm just gonna give you my quick thoughts on it and summarize everything. I'm not gonna be able to get everybody's names because they're hard to keep track of. But I'm gonna do my best anyway. So this episode starts out with basically Dottie disguised as Peggy, wearing her same outfit that's in the picture to the left of the screen, and I guess frame her for a bank robbery. But the whole thing ends up becoming a sting operation led by Peggy Carter, in which it's used to capture Dottie. And when Peggy's trying to interrogate Dottie, Jack Thompson, who's the new chief, who's played by Michael Murray, gets a call from Daniel Sosa, who's now the chief of the SSR branch out in LA, who was the former love interest of Peggy in season one, and was also, and apparently he's also, Danny's working with the LAPD investigating this case where a woman was frozen to death in a lake, and in a lake. The lake's frozen over as well. Um, so Peggy gets reassigned to go out there, and of course she gets picked up by Jarvis and offers her a place to stay. And in that case, we also get to meet Anya. Edwin Jarvis. We get to meet his wife, Anna. Anna, who's basically the opposite of Edwin Jarvis. She's very open and warm and easygoing, as opposed to, being kind of Edwin being just more like uptight. And I feel like it was a nice, a great parent. They seem like a great pairing. It's kind of subverted expectation as to who his wife was supposed to be, who they kept who was being referred to in season one. Um, we also get to, but the whole investigation in a nutshell leads to this place called Isodyne, which is owned by Senator Calvin Chadwick, who and his wife named Whitney Frost, who is based on was based on Hedy Lamarr, who was an actress but also a scientist during that era, during the 1947 in the 1940s. This takes place in 1947. Um, Turns out there's this like conspiracy in which the LAPD is being paid off to cover up basically um, Chadwick's involvement in the murder of a former employee. The employee worked at her corpse was frozen in a block of ice. Even her insides were frozen because of some kind of chemical, or, or you think of some kind of chemical accident. And it was looked like she was murdered by some serial killer who switches their shoes and switches the shoes of their victims. And but it turns out she was murdered by a detective who was working on the case with them and knew about the MO of a previous serial killer to frame him for it in order to reopen up a cold case and just drive attention away from Isodyne. But and he actually has the ability to actually freeze people, and he's the one responsible for the kill. He's the one responsible for like trying to like getting rid of the corpse. But then another LAPD officer is paid off to shoot him, and he shatters into like block pieces of ice before he's able to reveal the connection between Chadwick and the Isodyne murder. Um, and then of course and it's also like it turns out the victim was also somebody that Chadwick was sleeping with. Um, his wife, Whitney is his wife, and she and Chadwick are both part of like a council of nine. I don't know if they're. I'm assuming they're affiliated. They're like affiliated with Hydra. We're not. I'm not sure. They just mentioned some offhand that they were responsible for the stock market crash of '29 and how they were shutting down the Isodome project. But now it turns out that it also introduces that the Peggy also has a is also given like a new love interest, a scientist whose name I can't remember. Um, but he's clearly attracted to her, and gets her to open up a little bit while they're doing the investigation, and um, they're basically being pursued by Chadwick's men, and the scientist also tells Peggy about something called zero matter, which is just basically actually the dark force, which was introduced in it was like season one of Agents of Shield, Providence, where like the villain of the week was an escapee who was kept captive by Shield, but was let free by Agent Garrett as a means to guess distract the team. But anyway, they basically, I guess, basically it's supposed to be. I don't know much about it. I just know it's supposed to be it's supposed to be like a reference to, in connections to the Doctor Strange movie, which is coming out I think the end of this year, and it basically absorbs everything within like several mile radius. And Whitney Frost, the scientist working on the project, and when Peggy and the scientist try to go back and get it out of Isodyne, she Isodyne. There's a standoff between Whitney and the scientist, and the vial of the dark force is dropped, and apparently the scientist gets sucked in, and Peggy was falling in love with the guy, and so she's like heartbroken and distraught about his presumed death. And apparently Whitney Frost is somehow affected by the dark matter, because she walks out of the whole thing, in alive, but it seems like it's now like running under her skin now. So overall, I thought this was like a very strong opening. It's far more fast paced. There's not so much, like trying to like set up this world. I mean, it's the second season now, so it's assuming that you already know these characters, you already know this, era, this world, and it's much more fat. Things move at a quicker pace, and if it's gonna be, I think it's taking a page out of season 3 of Agents of Shield, where like storylines move quickly, and there's definitely a lot more action. There's definitely a lot more action than this. Haley Atwell is still born for this role. She's still kicking, still being this like badass woman, kicking ass and taking names. I'm glad that Edwin Jarvis is back. He was like perfect comic relief and sidekick for Peggy. You also found out that Danny Sosa also had a girlfriend he was dating, and I mean, there's still like some like lingering. You can tell like there's still some like lingering feelings between the Danny and Peggy, especially since Danny, when she goes missing, going on the run with the scientist, that he kind of just that basically his arm crutch, he just takes it off and starts like slamming it against the wall and just losing his shit about what could be happening to her. This is described as a special kind of worry for Peggy. So it's interesting to see where that dynamic is going to play out. I don't remember if I guess it was mentioned in Captain America 2 that if she's the person that Peggy's supposed to marry, because she said that he fought in war. I mean, that the person that Peggy married fought in World War II. I don't remember if they said. I don't remember if they said if Danny also saw combat and was in like a different unit and they just didn't meet up. But I mean, and then also there's another side plot. Side plot where Kurtwood Smith from That 70s Show, Red Foreman, comes in and takes Dottie into FBI custody, and basically, I guess like SSR is in a point where I guess other agencies can come in and like take over and like sidestep them now. So, and I'm not quite sure what that was about, but I guess they'll go more into that in later episodes. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to do an episodic reviews for of this or the X Files. I'm gonna choose between one or the other. In any case, I might just do like an overall like season overview since these are like since both X Files and Agent Carter are like I don't know like 6 7 episodes. Like I think between like 6 and 8 episodes. So I'll let you know in like future videos because I have to I have work and that it's kind of hectic schedule. Like I'm gonna be doing videos for Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow. Um, but anyway, I thought this was a great start. I gave it like a 9 out of 10, and I'm looking forward to more episodes coming up this week and the following week. So, what do you guys think of Agent Carter? Is there anything I didn't get to talk about? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.